All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points. With your two favorite hosts, I'm D, and this is Grinder AJ. We're coming at you with Season 7, Episode 43, The Cleopatra of Secession. I'm going to be talking about some Civil War shit, so get ready and find us on Instagram and Patreon at pointsopressure.com. Let's get to it. Merry Christmas.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
It is official. We have changed the background of the recording studio computer to an elderly woman stock photo handing a gift.
It's a very Helen Christmas.
You know what? I'm going to take a picture.
It's a very Helen holiday.
It's a very, yeah. I'm going to take a picture of the desktop. Is there any identifying info on there?
I don't know. My social is on there, but that's fine.
Oh, that's fine. Here, it's a Mac. It sucks, so don't worry. We know. Okay. I will post that at some point to the Instagram, so make sure you check it out.
It's a very Helen holiday.
Welcome
back. Welcome back. How was your week?
You know what? It was pretty good. I got a new patient yesterday. Obviously, I can't tell you anything about them.
What's their whole name?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just medically, I couldn't tell you anything about them, but then there's another level of privacy that I have to, hold up because
explain their genitals to me in detail.
I mean, I could. I actually could. I saw some schlong last night.
Fuck yeah. Same.
But I work in withdrawal and detox, so there's more privacy there within the community. So I'm going to tell you no specific information except male.
Okay.
Around my age.
Okay.
Basically twice my height.
I know him?
No, not at all.
Oh, well.
No, nobody.
Never mind. Then I don't care.
But I was going to work thinking I didn't have an admit, and then as I was pulling into the parking lot, the admissions person was like, "Oh no, we do have one. They're gonna be there in half an hour." So immediate panic attack.
Yeah. Fuck.
It just takes forever to do an admit, and they're not even supposed to be there as late as I get there because I work overnight.
Yeah.
So I put myself in a foul mood for the first couple hours of my shift.
Shut the fuck up.
I did. But, we breathalyze everyone who comes in and do a little drug test, just so we know what we're working with.
That's fair.
How much do you know about blood alcohol percent? Do you know what numbers are good and what numbers are bad?
A bit. Isn't, God, what's the lethal amount?
Like 0.4.
I was going to say it was like 0.32 or 4 or some shit. 0.08 is considered driving under the influence.
Yes,
I know that.
Correct. Good. That's a good number to know.
And then driving... No. That's... Oh, it's... Which one is it that, you can get charged with? Is it a DWI, driving while intoxicated, is anywhere between 0.1... Any trace amount, right?
I have no idea.
It's something like that in the state of Utah.
Utah's a nanny state, so...
What is it?
It's something ridiculously low in Utah. Yeah. It's like something that a petite woman could have a watered-down Applebee's dollar margarita and, blow that.
You could swish Listerine and blow it.
Yeah.
I think it's 0.02.
I want to say it's something ridiculous.
And then 0.2 is considered heavily intoxicated.
Oh yeah, 0.2 is you're confused, dazed, disoriented. You need help standing up and walking.
Yeah, you're
you're nauseous,
almost blackout. You're drunk as fuck.
You're right before blacking out.
Yeah, it's drunk as fuck.
Good. So,
but I know you can with stress testing it. You can get above the lethal limit if your body's used to it, obviously.
Yeah. So that is something to keep in mind. I work with alcoholic patients.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they got the tolerance, essentially. That's the best way to think about it. They got a tolerance to it. So they can...
Yeah, they can get higher. Yeah,
they can get higher.
0.6 and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that. That's pretty crazy.
That's fucked. But regardless.
But yeah. So this...
Oh, there's blood in my alcohol.
I don't think this patient will remember me.
Hell yeah.
Completely sloshed.
Dude had a fucking bender. Nice.
Was drinking in the back of the car
Okay.
as they were being dropped off.
Oh, good for him.
I mean, that complicates things because we
one
can't start a lot
final-
of stuff until they've been not drinking for long enough.
Hey, he just wanted one final
Huzzah.
hoorah
Yeah.
before going into detox.
So
He goes, hey, I can get through this detox if I'm drunk for the whole thing.
pretty much, yeah. 0.28.
Woo! That's what he was at?
Yeah.
Damn,
Again,
son.
much taller than me.
Yeah.
I'm as tall as Rod Sterling. Go look that up. But yeah, just stumbling around, dry heaving. But the best part was hours later. Basically, I did everything I could to help him get comfortable. And then I would check on him through the night because you don't want somebody, you know, throwing up and suffocating on it or like hurting themselves.
Sorry,
or
I'm fucked up about this Rod Sterling thing.
Yeah, he's my height. I looked it up last night because I was watching Twilight Zone.
Rod Sterling? Not Sterling.
Rod Sterling.
It's Sterling.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, there's no T.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
You're a fucking liar.
I'm dead serious.
Oh my god, it is Sterling. What
It's
the fuck?
Sterling.
Rod Sterling.
I was like, why do I recognize that name?
It's Rod Sterling. Sorry, God.
You're good. You're good.
So yeah, I woke him up to do some assessments, make sure, you know, breathing and everything. And there was a moment, it's around 1 a.m., where I woke him up and I had to shake him pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
And then he looks at me, and his eyes roll back into his head, and he goes,
He was just praying.
for like, it's completely speaking in tongues.
He was
The
just
tech
talking to
was
the
with
aliens.
me, and she does not have a big medical background,
She's
so
like,
she was
"What the
not.
fuck?"
So she was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And we were waiting for him to start levitating off the bed, and then he like slowly came to.
Do the techs even have to be like a CNA?
No,
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Never
no
mind.
CNA if they have experience.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but
Should drop a word for...
yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Definitely drop a word for her.
I'm as soon as there are openings, I
Yeah,
go.
even
I check
even
it every day.
fucking like overnight stuff. She's down for whatever.
Oh yeah, that desperate.
Yeah, she's gonna take anything. So
I mean, hey, it works. No, I'll hook her up if I can. So, yeah,
yeah, but
and then finally, like, kind of snapped to it and was like, "Oh, I forgot where I was."
he just
Like,
had one of
holy
those
shit.
mouth harmonicas in. He was like being
Yeah, the jaw harps.
Yeah,
It sounded kind of like that.
he was just playing you a song.
He
bro.
was. It was nice.
You were
It
so
was nice.
ungrateful.
You know what? He was a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's just a little performer. He's
Yeah.
just trying to get his name out there.
Yeah, this is a good way to do it. Yeah, so it was
Can't
fun.
get
It
his
was a
name
fun
out
night.
here, out there
Yeah,
via
not
this.
from
Yeah.
here.
From anything that had to do with that detox clinic, but hey, it was worth a shot, I suppose.
Yeah. So really nice guy. Entertaining, interesting night. Never had someone
Speaking
that
in tongues.
intoxicated.
Was he Episcopalian?
No, Westboro. He was Catholic, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good for him.
No,
I'm
that's
not gay
good.
no more. I fucking love that video. I am delivered.
Hey, let's put that on our.
I don't like
blue
mans
sky.
no more. Oh my god, dude, that video kills me. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
You don't need to see it. You just need to hear it. I'll pull it up.
Okay, you're gonna pull it up for the audience.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys get to hear this too. You folks get to hear this too.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
Also, oh, you got.
Get delivered. Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
Delivered.
I don't like men no more.
Man,
I said I like women. Women.
oh, I need whatever he has. I mean,
That is my all-time favorite video, dude. Anytime
that's
I see it, I'm just
phenomenal.
like, "Yep, I fuck with this.
I love that. That's
I don't
great.
like mans no more.
I think I've seen part of it before, but not all of it. That's great.
So good.
I like that you also just had it ready to go.
Oh,
That's perfect.
it's always in the back of my head.
Yeah,
that's
it's just-
that's my
it's in your bookmarks
one
tab.
rent-free video. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I searched "I'm not G" and it pulled up.
And it purple link. So yeah, how was your week?
Oh, it was good. Yeah. We watched Gladiator on Friday
very
night.
good.
First time for you and your wife and Abby. It's a good movie, man.
Good movie. Solid movie.
I've heard the second is okay.
Yeah, I heard it was a little cash grabby potentially.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. The focus was more on the appearance of the movie than the writing, which it's like, I mean, to be fair, good fucking luck keeping up with the original Gladiator.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
haven't seen
Dude,
it,
visually,
check
holy
it out,
shit.
dude.
I
It's
was
so fucking good.
blown away every time the scene changed. And just I was blown away with the set design and
It's incredible.
everything.
We put Braveheart next on the list, so we're gonna watch
Yeah,
that
that'll
one.
be on there.
Yeah, it was a good week.
Yeah, good.
Pretty good week. I'm trying to think. I feel like I didn't really do anything too crazy. So
Yeah, it's been chill. It's fine. I knocked on wood. It's starting to kind of slow down before the holidays
until
get
the
way
fucking
fucking
holidays
busier.
hit. Yeah. We already have something Tuesday, something Wednesday, something
Ew, what
Thursday.
the fuck are you? Why?
Something Friday. Yeah.
Why would you do something every day?
Tuesday, I'm helping Abby's dad with move a couple things. Wednesday, we were invited to a family thing that we're not a part of their family, but he's a sweetheart, and he was like, "You should come. It's for family and friends." I was like, "Okay." It's 100 people there. It's gonna be
I
fucking
said,
huge.
no thanks. I'm not part of your family.
Abby and I talked about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm down." I was like, "Okay, cool." So,
I can't stand being busy.
yeah. I'm not a huge fan, but it's also one where it gets me more locked in with the holidays.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
good.
Fuck with it, especially this year where I actually have energy and everything.
Whoa. Yeah, you're
I'm
going to be able to
like,
actually do shit.
Yeah. Plus, we've both kind of been we need to stop doing absolutely nothing on the weekends because we always feel like we actually accomplish something, and we feel better about the weekends if we go and do shit. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
Nerds wanting to accomplish things.
Yeah, I know. God forbid we try to slip out of the depression that you're trying to insist we stay in.
No,
by
I'm just
keeping us in a
keeping you
basement
under
with-
my depression.
with
I've seen
boarded off windows, no sunlight.
just in this room. No, I've seen I think 5 hours of sunlight in the last 4 days.
Fair.
Just because
But you're
the
also,
work schedule. And,
well, I mean, when the sun goes down and when you wake up, it would make sense.
yeah, when I'm going to sleep, the sun begins
Yeah.
to come up.
When you wake up, it's on its way down.
Yeah, it's it's fine.
Pasty
Winter-
as hell.
Winter sucks, but
Right.
I mean, I love winter. Love the holidays. I have no energy. I probably gotta take some vitamin D or something.
Yeah, you
I've
probably
had
should.
no energy recently, so.
But yeah, and then 2 Thanksgivings. Fucking Friday, we both have the day off, but we're taking our dog in to get her fucking pussy cut open and shit. So
Nice.
yeah, it's gonna be a busy.
Yeah, you're
busy little
doing
holiday
female
weekend.
circumcision on your dog, right?
Yeah, we're just sewing it closed. Just super glue.
Yeah. I don't think it's called surgery if you use super glue.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's
take it
just an out of office procedure.
Take it into a Facebook specialist.
Oh yes, there you go.
The-
Found him on Marketplace.
Yeah, his picture was the Gorilla Glue picture.
No, it was Quagmire from Family Guy.
Yeah. So yeah, taking our little dog number 2 in to get her fixed, spayed, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, it's spayed.
And then take care of her over the next couple of days. So it'll be busy, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice having all of those things taken care of and just done. So
I got to get an oil change. That's my plan.
hey,
next
there
week.
you go. Not bad. We probably should change ours too. But
Yeah.
so
Well,
good week.
Yeah, not too shabby. I definitely gotta like make some cookies or something.
Yeah, that's what Abby's doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, I came in
You
here,
came?
moved a
You
couple
came
things.
in here?
Yeah, you
In this
haven't?
room?
You haven't before?
You
Come on.
you Adam Kovic to this office?
You really haven't before?
No.
I do it like every episode that
Well,
you're
during
doing.
it doesn't count during recording.
Oh, okay, then no, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came in here, walked back out there, and she's like pulling like a bunch of shit out and putting it on the counter. And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "I'm making cookies." Mind you, she does not bake. She doesn't cook unless it's like ramen,
An emergency.
or mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. But something, I swear to God, dude, something about the holidays puts her in like a I want to bake something mood, and it's phenomenal because she never eats any of it. She'll have like
So you
2
have
bites
to
of it, and then she's like, she just leaves it, and then for the next like 2 weeks, I'm just like, fuck yeah, it
Hell
starts
yeah.
whenever. So
Hell yeah. I gotta do
it's
something.
great. Do it. All right, I suppose we'll
All
jump straight
right.
into this one now that it's been like 15 minutes.
Hey, we're still recording. That's good.
Hey, 10 out of 10. Don't lose any of the stuff on this one.
I hope
No,
not.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the machine.
Oh yeah.
So back at the start of October, it was season 7, or not season 7, but well, I suppose if you're outside of listening to this live, season 7, episode 36, The Two Dumbest Accomplices. Phenomenal episode.
Fantastic.
It
I love this episode.
It kind of kickstarted us into Spooktober, despite not really being like a huge
There was a skeleton in
Spooktober.
it.
Yeah.
So that means it's
Yeah.
spooky. We talked about this on that episode.
Stealing Abraham Lincoln's body. So the guy behind it was, I think his name was Bill Boyd or something.
Yeah, Billy Boyd.
Yeah, Billy Boyd. When I
could
was
be
searching,
completely wrong. That just sounds nice.
Dude, I don't even remember I know his last name was Boyd. When I was looking him up, I don't know what I mistyped, but I was trying to find like where he was during the Civil War and like getting like a like just the right year for things, and it pulled up a woman by the name of Isabella Boyd. And I was like, oh, was she related to
Ben
him?
Boyd.
Ben Boyd, that's what it was. Which is funny because Isabella's dad was Benjamin Boyd. Different guy, though. So stumbled upon Isabella, Bell, whatever, and found hers and was like, holy shit, this is a Pressure Points episode if I've ever fucking seen one. I think I talked a little bit about it in that episode, but I couldn't do it for a month because we had just started Spooktober. So I put some like goofy little name on it that had nothing to, completely unidentifiable, because I was like, oh, this would be a funny title. Put it away, and then today I was scrolling through episode ideas and saw it and was like, oh shit, that's right. So she spoke after the Civil War. Belle Boyd spoke at a ton of different places. She was promoting a book that she wrote, a little memoir, and she ended up dying in 1900 of a heart attack.
Okay.
Her experiences during the Civil War were like, her book sold like fucking crazy because a lot of people recognized her name. She was a big fucking deal during it. Her book was called Belle Boyd in Camp and Prison. She was actually buried in Spring Grove in Wisconsin. It's the 3rd largest cemetery in the U.S. Fun fact. And at her funeral, this was where I was like, wait, what the fuck? I didn't know this. For everyone else listening, you're going to be like, who gives a fuck? We'll talk about it. At her funeral, Union soldier veterans acted as the pallbearers.
Wow, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's cool, like 1900, yeah, like
No, that's pretty cool.
Union
That's pretty
Union
fancy.
soldiers, yeah. But it being Union soldiers that are involved is a head scratcher, considering on Belle's gravestone it reads, Belle Boyd, Confederate spy, born in Virginia, died in Wisconsin, erected by a comrade. So I'm like,
and then it says
what the
the
fuck?
South will rise again against the Union
right?
aggressors.
And like, I get it. It was a civil war. Like, both sides ended up coming together. So it would only make sense as like a show of fellowship in 1900 that, you know, the Union soldiers would carry a Confederate, like a well-known Confederate spy to their grave. That's fair. It's just one of those things where it's what she did that was so odd. Belle, as aptly named in the title, the Cleopatra of Secession. She was also known as the Siren of Shenandoah.
Hot.
Which is both just, I was conflicted on which one I wanted to use as the episode title. And she had received the Southern Cross of Honor from Stonewall Jackson.
Hell yeah.
This girl is South through and through.
She eat that cornbread,
Oh my God. I bet she was
biscuits
a
and gravy,
big old bitch too.
sturdy.
Yeah, fucking corn-fed girl,
She
man.
could shoe a horse
Played
and dance at a debutante ball.
played fucking linebacker for the Falcons. She's a big old bitch. But yeah, she was born in 1844 to a tobacco family that also had their own storefront, and so they were shopkeepers as well.
Now I want to know what she looks like.
Yeah, look her up. She's not.
She's not that big.
She's just, her nose is fucking huge.
Holy
Yeah, she got a big old head.
Nose. Hey, maybe that was like attractive to people.
Yeah, maybe so. Who knows?
Not saying that it's not. I'm just saying.
Maybe that was she just found her type. Yeah. So she grew up in this affluent family. Silver spoon definitely in her mouth. They had slaves on their plantation. This was the
No.
Yeah, she lived in the what is it called? The Confederate area of West Virginia is where she grew up.
Near
Though,
the country roads. Yeah.
As she was growing up, it obviously wasn't Confederate until the war started and everything. But she was known to be much smarter than a lot of her classmates. She actually started college, female college, at 12 and graduated at 16 years old. So she came back home in 1860, just as the Civil War was beginning. And within the first year that she was home, stop reading about it.
No, I'm not. I'll tell you later.
Within the first year that she was home, in 1861, her hometown outside of Shenandoah National Park was taken by Union soldiers. They had pushed the line, took over the city, and a lot of people were pretty pissed about it. Her father being one of them. Benjamin Boyd,
The renowned counterfeiter, Benjamin Boyd.
Well-known counterfeiter, Ben Boyd. Tobacco farmer Ben Boyd was kind of fucking pissed because as soon as that line shifted, like, he can still have his slaves because they haven't abolished slavery by any means, but Union soldiers are at his doorstep. Like, there's not a lot that he can really do to push along the Confederate movement. And this is a family that was also very supportive of the Confederate side. Belle and her mom were known to sew and fix Confederate soldiers like uniforms and everything. They would help them, like, they would give them a place to stay while they were like living right along that southern line. So they supported the hell out of them, and they were very staunch. The South will rise again, people.
Oh, yeah.
Had a bunch of slaves and everything. So when the town is taken over by Union soldiers, Dad says, well, I'm not going to fucking stand for this. Like, what am I supposed to do? Hire people to work for me?
Yeah.
Hell no. So at 45 years old, her father ends up enlisting under Thomas Stonewall Jackson, General. Sorry,
General.
Thomas
Show the respect.
Stonewall Jackson. Now, Stonewall Jackson kind of had he had a bit of fame around his name at the time.
What?
This is very early on in the Civil War. He was a thorn in the side to the Yankees. If you don't know, if you're outside of the U.S., Yankees, Union soldiers, that's
the
all
blue
north.
ones.
The blue ones, that's all the north side. They didn't want slavery to exist. They didn't want the South to secede from the Union. Confederates, what do they call them? Fucking gray suits. The South, they're all fighting to, the racists. They're all fighting to secede from the Union so that they can continue with their state rights.
The state right to own another human being.
To own a human being. Extremely racist. It's fucking terrible. But I don't think we'll ever do a breakdown of the Civil War because it would just feel like we're doing a history class.
Now it would feel like we're reviewing current events. A little too
much.
Hit
home. It would hit home a little too much. So yeah, Stonewall Jackson was problematic, but this wasn't a guy that like started off in leadership by any means. When he was first starting out, they had the battle at Bull Run, the first battle at Bull Run, I should say, which is where the Confederate line was like basically straight across. They were holding the line so that the Unions couldn't push further into the South. And all of the Confederate armies were getting pushed. The entire line was failing left and right. And Stonewall Jackson was with his unit under the command of, I think it was like General B or something. And General B is like, we need to come back. You need to come back. And Thomas Jackson at the time was like, we're holding the line. We're going to get what did he say? Some shit about like, if I'm out of bullets, I'm going to use a bayonet. And his general like turned to his group and goes, you see Officer Jackson over there? He's standing like a stone wall. And that was where he got his name, Stonewall Jackson.
They said the title of the movie.
Yeah, right. He ended up being a part of the only unit that in the Confederates that didn't get pushed back by the Union Army. So I just imagine there's a line that goes whoop, and then there's just a little nipple that pokes up that goes around him. And he immediately was promoted. He ran his own unit, obviously, and like he is considered one of like the greatest U.S. militant like tacticians out there, with the way that he would move, with the way that he would collect his intel and like utilize it and just shift his units. If he had died, which it's wild during that fight, and I know a lot of this comes off as like Confederate propaganda. I just think it's all interesting.
It's
a great backstory because like I knew his name. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, fucking Stonewall Jackson. Like he was a piece of shit, like well-known Confederate. But I just didn't know his backstory. And so when I read about it, I was like, oh, okay.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Complete piece of shit though. Fuck that guy. When he was holding his spot, he had taken a bullet to his middle finger and like blasted his finger in half. And it's crazy to think that there is a chance the war wouldn't have gone on for 5 years if that bullet had been like a foot to the left, foot to the right, whichever side.
Yeah.
If it had killed him instead, like he was.
Oh yeah, he was a major propaganda piece.
Fucking insane with how big he was, but yeah, total propaganda piece.
And he was good at his job. Like he was a smart tactician, especially for the time period. But you know, with the finger getting blown off, now he can use the Assassin's Creed hidden blade. The original one.
It wasn't his ring finger though. It was his
Yeah,
middle.
they just move it to it.
Yeah,
Move
they
it
just
a little bit.
they just move it over
Angle
an inch.
it. Yeah.
True. That's true. That's probably why he was so successful.
Yeah. He would walk into town.
General Stonewall Jackson, incredible general, well-known assassin.
Yeah, yeah. He would go into town dressed as Jennifer Stonewall Jackson.
Stonewall the Assassin Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Hell yeah. All right, that's like an alternate history, low budget video
Oh
game,
my
indie
God,
game that I
dude.
would play the hell out of.
We need an editor that can just like do all of our video effects and like all of our storytelling, and they just put Stonewall Jackson's face over Ezio.
Hell yeah.
And then like cut to them like cutting off the finger and then cutting up to Stonewall
Yeah,
Jackson.
Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, my God.
my
If
God.
you like editing, let us know because it'd be nice to have somebody to edit for free.
For free.
Speaking of of paid workers. So yeah, Stonewall Jackson was a big fucking name. Like you said, major propaganda piece for the Confederates. Obviously it worked because Ben Boyd was like, yeah, I'm going to join Stonewall Jackson. We're going to hold the line and I'm going to get my home back in the red. Interesting how
You mean the gray?
the red and the blue were fighting one another in this.
No.
One side
no,
was
it's the
red.
blue and gray.
Yeah, it was gray. Yeah, it was gray.
You're just there. It certainly wasn't just a colorblind historian.
Yeah, so family fucking loved the Confederates, and after her father left and after the Union took over the town, word kind of got out that the Boyd family were like staunch Confederate supporters. And not so much like, oh yeah, we like fly their flag. It was that like, oh, Pa left home to go fight to the south. Like he's not fighting from his hometown. He literally up and
Like
left
deployed.
south. Yeah,
Yeah.
just so he can come back home. And yeah, it like word got out that they loved the Confederacy, that they stood for the South, and because of how big their name was in the town, everybody recognized it. They're like, "Oh, the Boyds, yeah. Well, we've heard that Belle Boyd has her entire room decorated with Confederate flags." Is what the rumor was. It's
Average
getting around town.
Alabama 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, right. 17 at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I just want to have sex with my cousin and have slaves.
Yeah, she did say that. That's a direct quote.
Famous Belle Boyd quote.
Yeah.
So Union troops showed up at their plantation to investigate these wrongdoings of displaying Southern flags. And they show up with the Union Jack and plant it in the front yard.
Which is the American flag.
That's the American flag. The Union flag, the Yankee flag, the Northern flag is just currently what the U.S. flag is. Despite what you may be seeing in the news, yes, the North won. I know that might be confusing with the amount of racism and bigotry that goes on in the U.S.
Also, isn't the Union Jack the British flag?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. So, yeah, they show up and they plant the American flag in their front yard, display it up, and Belle's mom, Mary, goes outside and is like, what the hell?
She
What are you
acid attacks
doing?"
him.
Yeah. Yeah, she fucking pocket sands them. And she goes out and she starts fucking screaming at these Union soldiers. And it's up in the air as to exactly what happened. Belle said that her mother was that someone cursed at her mother.
Oh, did she?
Someone, like other accounts, were that one of the Union soldiers struck her mom and like fucking smacked her, like pushed her down on the ground. Regardless, whichever account is true, Belle took it upon herself to react by drawing a pistol and shooting the man to death.
Nice.
Which-
She just kept that thing on her.
Sounds like a fucking Confederate flag.
Yeah, it really
If I
does.
ever seen one.
She has a concealed carry in a state that doesn't require you to have a license to conceal carry. Let me guess, it's
During
unregistered
wartime?
too.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so yeah, she shoots this Union soldier. She ends up getting arrested, but she isn't charged with a crime. She's let off with a warning, despite
Murdering.
killing someone in a town that's controlled by the Union.
Yeah, that sounds.
They let her off, which is kind of odd. But that's not the first oddity of whatever. We'll get into it. And so I think that for that, I think that more than words were thrown around, I think that it was probably seen as she was acting in self-defense. So I think that the Union soldier probably attacked her mom and she shot him, and they were like, well, to be fair, whatever. And then I'd assume that it was just, we just don't talk about like what happened. Fight Club it,
Yeah, Fight Club it.
Confederates, however, got word of what Belle did, and she became a Southern hero.
Again,
they were
more
like,
of that propaganda.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
God. The fucking Yankees came to the Boyd home to steal their land. They came there to kick all the slaves out, and Belle Boyd stood up for the Confederacy.
Yeah, and if they could do it to Belle Boyd, they could do it to you.
She Stonewall Jacksoned them. Just like Stonewall Jackson.
No step back
Not quite,
doctrine.
Not quite.
Yeah,
but,
not quite.
Yeah. So she blows up in the South. Even the town, any of the people that support the Confederacy in the town are like, yeah, Belle's our hero. And this causes the Union Army to like double down with units at their home. Because they're like,
We need to shut this
yeah,
down.
they're like just the head of a very young snake. If we let this go any further, if we're letting them go outside and have these things, we're going to have an uprising in the town, and we're going to lose this area. The Confederacy is going to move back in. So they position a bunch of troops at her place, like a handful of them, which is still, that's substantial. Like that's more than the troops that we have at the house right now.
Yeah.
That we know of, I should say. So they're stationed outside her home. And lost my place. I keep going off script. Belle sees this, instead of saying like, oh, like, well, we're defeated, like, instead of just letting her mom get beat up on the ground, she once again stands up, draws a pistol, and figuratively speaking, I should say,
Okay.
she stands up.
I was
for
like, wow,
herself.
she shot another one?
She starts taking it upon herself to continue with the Southern movement.
That's a nice
there
way
are-
of putting it. The Southern movement.
The Southern movement.
The response to the war of aggression. The war of northern aggression.
The Civil War of Aggression. And so she ends up, like, within a couple of weeks, probably within a couple of days, she's caught listening in on important conversations between a captain and his men. And they're like,
Nice.
stop it.
Don't do that.
Don't fucking do that again. Mind you, she already got away with murdering a Union troop.
Yeah.
Like,
which is wild
she
that
got
they
a
didn't
fucking
just say
slap on the wrist
that they didn't
for
just
that.
execute her.
Yeah. And so he tells her, this captain tells her, if you're caught doing this again, it's punishable by death. Do not let this happen again. And she goes, okay, like, understandable. Over the course of her Confederate career, I'll add this. She was arrested multiple times, but the first 6 times she saw no charges at all.
Love it.
Yeah. Despite being threatened with death for listening in on a conversation, she was threatened with death 5 more times. She apologized to this captain, and
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to.
She was like, okay, it was obvious that I was listening in here. Like, I can't just stand outside the door with my my ear to the door.
What?
I need to be a little bit more clever about this if I'm going to help the South rise back to power. Fuck her. And so she looks at herself in the mirror one day and says, how can I, as a piece of shit racist woman, help the Confederacy? And she takes off her top and she goes, oh my God, it just came to me.
Oh.
So she goes outside.
Titless.
No,
like, tits
top,
out.
top back on.
Oh, okay.
Goes outside and goes up to Captain Daniel Kelly. And she, oh, Captain Daniel Kelly. I can't do a fucking Southern accent right now. Oh, would you listen here, Captain Daniel Kelly? Isn't it just a hot day? Wouldn't you love some nice cold Southern tea? Ice cold, I promise, Captain. And he goes, oh, that sounds mighty fine. Let's do it. So she starts sweet talking this captain. And she invites him inside. They have some discussions. She slowly starts showing more interest. And of course, he's going to start showing interest as well because,
He's a soldier at war.
Zero
who has been away from
female
home
soldiers.
yeah.
And
He's been relegated to jerking off with his Jo buds the whole time.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, which one of yours mouth feels most? Oh, he's not Southern.
Who grew out their hair enough this week?
Which one of your mouths feel most woman-like?
Who's got the most feminine hips here? So
Hell yeah.
she takes a liking to Daniel. He takes a liking to Belle, and they end up sleeping together fairly frequently.
Scandalous.
They would lie together at nights, just talking to one another. And she slyly will shift into where are you going to be next week, per se? And he's like, oh, well, we're going to be moving into the southern part of Virginia. We're pushing that Confederate line further forward. Just casual conversation.
Yeah.
But a lot of her questions are asked in a way that are really, disalarming.
Yeah, it doesn't arouse suspicion.
Yeah. Oh, it
arouses
something.
Hell yeah.
So she pokes and prods and gets information. I mean, she's talking to him every fucking day. He was stationed outside her home. And he's a captain, so he has a fairly good knowledge of what's going to be happening in the town for the most part. So she would take this information, and what was it? Let's see. I keep losing my place. She actually thanked Daniel later on when she wrote her memoir for some kind words, some withered flowers, and a great deal of information, which I was like, she didn't say anything about how good he was in bed. That's a solid slap in the face.
Well, yeah, because he said withered flowers.
Yeah, withered flowers.
Just like his,
oh, no.
his
Yeah,
90-degree angle cock. I don't know.
His gonzo penis. So she had realized that if she would play this unassuming, harmless girl, that a lot of these Union soldiers, they would just be fully caught off guard and they'd be like, oh, well, people are putting her up on this Confederacy pedestal because, I don't know, she looks good. Mind you, pictures probably weren't circulating very often of her, or they probably would have known better. So clever as she was and as much of a piece of shit as she was, it was a smart move.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially her approach next. And it's also so fucking shitty how she gets any of that information south. She would take the secrets that Daniel would tell her. She would write them on a letter. And she would write down all of the notes that she could remember the following morning. And she would put them in a hollowed out watch box, which she would then give to her slave, Eliza Hopewell. And she would say, hey, take this south. Take this to my dad.
Oh, okay.
So she would make her slave
go through enemy lines.
Deliver Union secrets, the side that's trying to help this woman.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Deliver shit to fuck
what
her
a
over.
what a nice lady.
Fucking terrible.
Sending her through potentially deadly situations of going through battle lines.
Yeah. Now, she wouldn't address these to her father because she was like, that would be too obvious, and if it were intercepted, it would be pretty clear what was happening.
Yeah.
So instead, she would sign it with a different name, but she would send them to Stonewall Jackson, the general her dad is working under. Now, anytime these messages were intercepted, my guess is that Union soldiers, they would find the letter and they'd be like, well, what's this? And they'd see it's addressed to like General Stonewall Jackson, and Stone is like triple underlined. And a lot of the times her messages were intercepted, it was just thrown away because they were like, oh, it's just fan mail from some horny young teenager.
Jesus.
So anytime
They
stuff
fumbled
was
that bag.
stopped, they'd throw it out. If it ever got through, Stonewall got incredible, like, first-hand intel. I guess second-hand, but regardless, phenomenal intel
Oh, yeah.
that benefited the shit out of him. There was one evening that Bell got word that there would be a Union meeting with a local general at a hotel just down the street. She got the time. It was at 6 p.m. So she's like, all right, if I get there at 5, like, I already know what room it's going to be in because Daniel's an open book about fucking everything.
Yeah.
Loose lips sink ships, and Daniel was loose as hell.
So is his asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Belle was definitely a pager.
Oh, yeah.
She was a dummy mommy, I guess you could say.
Bell Boyd, Dommy
yeah.
Mommy, Confederate spy.
Famous Confederate dummy mommy.
No, we're accidentally creating more
No.
Confederate propaganda. Fuck!
That's not
We
what
fell
we
into their
want here.
trap.
That's
It's
not
so
what we want
easy
here.
to make Confederate
God damn it.
propaganda.
So she gets word that, like, what room this meeting's going to be in the hotel. So she goes a few hours before. She gets there, goes into the room, and she hides in the fucking closet.
Oh my god.
And she's
Okay,
just
pause
the
there.
best. What?
If they're having a meeting that with intel and they don't search the room before having the meeting, they fucking deserve it.
They deserve to have their intel leaked.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's such a funny scene to imagine that they're all of these Union soldiers huddled around a war table talking about their future moves and everything. And she's just on the other side of the closet door with her ear to a hole in the door listening. And they're just
it's
like,
probably cracked open.
yeah, God, she's like, her nose is poking all the way through, and they're like, oh, that's a weird
handle.
closet over there. Strange handle, yeah. Yeah, so she hides in this closet, and the meeting ends, and she books it. Like they all leave. She gets the fuck out of there, hops on a horse, and she's headed for the Southern Line. She's going to fucking Stonewall Jackson's camp.
Damn.
Because she's like, he needs this
This
information
is good info.
yesterday. So she rides this horse through the night and everything. Anytime she's stopped by Union soldiers, she just pulls the card of, like, she'd cry a bunch and lie to the soldiers and it'd show like really bad faked papers, but because she's so frantic, I'm sure a lot of them are like, whoa, chill out. And I bet she's like pissing the horse off, so it's just acting amuck and everything.
Yeah.
So it turns into this chaotic encounter, but she's able to get through it because they're like, oh my God, like, I don't want to deal with a fucking crying teenager.
Yeah.
Like, just go
I'm not
to
here
the
for
South.
this.
I don't care. They're going to fucking shoot you anyway. You're headed to the godless South. No, good luck. And so she gets across Union lines and she goes to Stonewall Jackson, delivers this letter to like one of his lackeys or something. And it ends up like fully benefiting them the next day. They find out that they thought this general had like a huge group with him, but he was shifting east and it was in like a small party. And so she delivers this letter that's like, hey, this is where he's headed. It's like 6 people. If you send enough people, you'll just be able to kill him, scout him out and kill him while they aren't
Easy peasy.
expecting it. And like, that's going to benefit you tenfold because you've just killed one of their generals. So Stonewall Jackson reads this letter and he's like, "Oh my fucking God, this is genius."
I'm
Sends
bricked
his
up
men
right
over
now.
there. Yeah,
That's why they
he's
really call him
stoned up.
He's stoned up. That's why they really call him
he's
Stonewall Jackson.
stonewalled up. So he sends a unit out, and they end up killing this guy. Send intel back, and they say, "Hey, the intel was good. We killed him. That was definitely the general." Yeah, intel's solid.
They legit good source.
Yeah, and that entire process, everything that happened, that Belle did, that was why she won the what was it, the Southern Comfort Award or whatever the fuck it was.
You had a bottle of Maker's Mark for some reason.
Yeah, you had not Southern Comfort.
Yeah,
you had Maker's Mark. What was the fucking award?
the Southern Cross.
Yeah, Southern Cross of Honor is what she's awarded, and Stonewall like thanks her personally and everything. It was this huge ordeal, and I'm sure like everyone was like, "Oh my God, Belle Boyd," and I'm sure she's just fawning over the fact that Stonewall Jackson said her name and spoke out and was like, "Oh, thank you." Fucking ridiculous. It's all just not political theater, but it's all just propaganda shit. So yeah, she goes crazy. She gets back home the next morning and is just like, now's time to really kick up the ante. So over the next like month or two, she just starts listening in on anything and everything. She's like fucking Union soldiers left and right, getting information out of them and sending all of it back home or back to Stonewall. And yeah, her like seductive espionage just takes off like tenfold. So much so that the information that Union soldiers are putting out, they're like, how the fuck are they catching on to these things? So I would assume they do what most people do, and they start putting out incorrect information and locate where that incorrect information comes from. And they end up figuring out that it's coming from Belle. And this is where it's been happening like over and over. She keeps getting arrested for it. She gets arrested the 6 times, whatever. But like time and time again, she would be let off scot-free until eventually she gets, what was it? She gets locked up for like a month and released in a prisoner exchange. And she goes back home and starts listening to shit again.
Just doing it again.
And in 1862, the Secretary of War puts a warrant out for Belle's arrest. And they end up bringing her in, and he says, "Hey, you are banished to Richmond, Virginia." That's the Confederate capital in 1862. They're like, "You are not welcome back up in the North anymore. You're going to go to the South. Fuck you. We're sick and tired of your shit. You're not going to continue getting away with this." Like,
fool me 8 times. Shame on me.
Shame on me. Quit sticking your big ass nose in all our business.
On our fucking business, yeah.
So they send her to Richmond. She escapes back into the fucking North.
Jesus.
Gets caught again, and they tell her this time, "We're deporting you to Canada. You aren't welcome back in the U.S. at all.
Get out of here." Holy shit.
And she pushes back and says, "Okay, look, I won't come back. I promise I won't come back. Don't send me to Canada. Send me to England." And they're like, "Okay."
So she was getting a free vacation.
Yeah, essentially. She goes, "Send me to England. I have a better chance of survival there. I will leave you guys alone. From that point forward, I'll fuck off. Just let me go to the UK." And they're like, "Fine. We're not going to send you to Canada because we know we're just going to have to fucking deal with you again. You'll somehow
find your way back up." Yeah.
She's like a fucking family of cockroaches, dude. So she's getting ready to be sent to England. She's at the dock, and she ends up meeting a Union naval officer that he defects and runs away to England with her. and they get married
Jesus.
overseas in the UK. She begins her acting career and everything.
What the fuck?
My guess is that she was like, don't send me to Canada because it isn't very well established. I mean, this is coming from a girl that she's part of a plantation family. Like,
Yeah.
to be like, hey, go live out in the sticks in Canada. Good fucking luck. She's like,
No, I want the
I
show
can't
business.
do the things that I'm good at there, which is like lying, cheating, and stealing.
Yeah. So
Like,
what you're saying is,
I'm going to
if
go to
there
the
wasn't
UK
a
to
Civil
a big
War,
city.
she would have moved to New York.
Yeah.
after high school.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
perfect image.
So yeah, she starts her acting career out there, starts writing her memoir and everything about her fucking 2 years involved in the Civil War.
2 years getting dick
Yeah.
down in the Civil War.
And yeah, 3 years later, her Union naval officer husband ends up dying.
So she can go
so
back.
she moves back to the United
Yep.
States. The war is over at this point. It's 1865. Lincoln's been murdered. So she gets back.
She's like, oh,
and
now's my chance.
upon arriving in the U.S., she strangely meets a British man
What the
who
fuck?
was a part of the British Army unit that fought alongside the Yankees in the Civil War. So, of course, they get married. If you can't tell, Belle Boyd has a type, and it's a Union soldier. Like, she's like, I stand for the Confederacy, but I fucking hate Confederate men.
Okay, actually, dude, that's actually the most accurate portrayal of our current politics right now.
Exactly,
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
It's fucking
holy
ridiculous.
shit. You're
So-
right. She hates Confederate men but loves the Confederacy.
So she
Holy shit.
marries this British dude, which it's just like she gets back to the U.S. and meets someone from the place she just left, but it also just so happens that this guy he was Union. Like, I guarantee he was still in his fucking
Oh, yeah.
like blue duds, and she's like,
I can see-
interesting.
Hey,
Those
hey.
aren't gray. I'm slightly turned on.
You know, they say the old Union uniform was the older equivalent of gray sweatpants today.
Yeah, huge looking dongs.
Yeah, it makes your dong look
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. So she ends up marrying this fucking dude, travels the U.S. in an acting group under the name of Nina Benjamin because she doesn't want to go under Belle Boyd because she's like,
Because she's gonna run into exes in every town.
she's going to run into people she fucked over, or people are going to they're going to recognize the name
Yeah.
6 years later for something. Honestly, I think she thought she was a bigger deal than she really was. Or the fact that people would be like, oh, Belle Boyd, you mean the only woman that won the Southern Comfort Award? I recognize that fucking name. So, yeah, she goes under the stage name Nina Benjamin, which I thought was interesting. Her dad's name was Benjamin, so she's not all that clever. I was hoping that her mom's name was Nina.
That
and
would
she
be
just
really
mixed
funny.
them. But
No,
yeah,
her dad's name was middle name was Nina.
yeah, Benjamin Nina Boyd. Her book ends up selling pretty well, though it's hailed as an exaggeration and a fictitious account of the true events.
Yeah, I bet.
But like I said, it still sells really well enough that she ends up going like on a fucking book tour across the country. She would do shows, and this is how I ended up finding her, was that I think it was the same day that Ben Boyd was arrested. She had a like speech for her book tour in the same town kind of thing. So it was like
Okay.
Boyd. It was like the same fucking day. I was like, wait, what the hell?
Wait, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, or it was the same year because I found it was all of the newspaper headlines for the year.
Oh,
So in the
okay.
same year that
Yeah.
he was arrested, she was
there.
doing her book tour shit.
Okay.
But yeah, she went crazy. She would act in shows and then go do a book show later that night or whatever the fuck you want to call it, book signing. She died at 56 years old, 1900, and she died on stage to a heart attack.
On stage.
She died doing what she loved.
What a way to go.
Acting.
Fighting for the Confederacy while fucking unions.
Yeah. She probably only did like shows that were
There's recreations of the way
recreations.
Gettysburg should have gone.
historical retellings.
Yeah. Just dramatizing like,
This is what coulda
Stonewall
happened.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hung.
She's just
He drove a Ford F-150.
She does sex shows with a guy that looks like Stonewall, and that's all the acting that she. Nina Benjamin was her porn name.
Yeah,
That was her sex show name.
That was her stripper name. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Cleopatra of Secession.
You know, I at the beginning I didn't know this, but yeah, I've heard very base level information about her.
It's the tiniest bit.
But man, she was very much
She's
like
a pain in the ass.
yeah, I mean, she definitely like made an impact, but
she was clever though.
she's still kind of a propaganda piece for, even just scrolling through pictures, it's like Confederate heroine, like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
oh, she's still, big propaganda thing.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, fantastic. We need more
I thought
Civil
it was
War.
interesting. Yeah.
I started liking history because of the Civil War.
Really?
Yeah. I read a
Okay.
book about the Civil War, about a boy. Because, like 90% of the books at your school that are in your like age range are
All
about
about young
kids
boys,
your
yeah.
age. And yeah.
Was it the one that was like it was like his journal entries?
No.
Oh, okay. There was one that I read that was like that. And then
Yeah.
in the same series there was one that was it was about a kid that worked on the railroads.
I don't
He
remember
probably
a
didn't,
ton about that. Yeah.
But
But the cover was a kid in overalls, and there's like a stone wall next to a road.
oh my god.
And he was kind of just like in between the two armies a lot.
Oh, okay.
I remember that. I remember that him being like, he's not saying either side is better. He's just like, I got kicked out of my house and I'm homeless now, and they are attacking each other,
He
and
was
I'm just
Belle's
trying to
little
live.
brother.
Yeah.
He's like, my sister's always hooking up with them. I don't know what to think.
Yeah. I'm very torn.
So yeah,
No.
good old
very
shit.
good.
Oh
goodness.
Next week is our last episode of the season. Just as a heads up, we will be gone until, let me get the exact date. Burn
January,
time. Yeah, it'll be like January
Santa.
7th or some shit.
Uh,
It should be January 6th or 13th. I'm not positive on how the dates fall, but one of those 2 days. Next week, we'll have a definitive answer
we'll
for
actually
you.
tell you.
I think
It's usually
it's
the 13th.
usually the 13th. So keep an eye out for that. That's when season 8 will start. But we still have one more episode next week. If
And your
you are
exclusives?
a patron, you will still get a December exclusive, despite us not having. We'll have one episode in December? Yeah, we'll have one on December 2nd. So
Yeah.
you guys will still get a December exclusive. So keep an eye out for those. And if you aren't on
Oh shit! It's
Patreon-
Thanksgiving this week.
Yeah, that's what we talked about at the start of the episode.
I didn't piece together that you're busy because of Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, I literally said we have 2 Thanksgivings.
Yeah, I just thought you were like, oh yeah, we are busy this month.
Oh, yeah, no.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
Thanksgiving
that
this week.
Fucking threw me off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you aren't a member of Patreon, go check it out. Patreon.com/Points of Pressure. You get an exclusive episode a month. AJ has his series called Voices, which he's been releasing a lot of stuff for that. So go check that shit out. It's fucking amazing. We also have like a bunch of dog shit, silly, sloppy seconds episodes, like 30 plus. Go find those. Just a bunch of additional exclusive content. We do have a free tier, and we put out a good amount of stuff that you guys can still access. So go make a free account on there. We don't expect you to pay anything. We don't want you to pay anything unless you're already paying something. Then don't go to a free tier. But yeah, you got those names.
Yeah, so we've got...
it's also an ad-free version of the show. I keep forgetting that.
Ad-free version of the show, and you get like... I mean, on the free tier, if you're not sure, if you want the content, it's got little samplings of everything, except I don't think any Voices episodes are free. But, you know, if you're just not sure, you don't want to commit yet, make the free account, check out what we do have available.
Yeah, I think you get the first 5 episodes of every exclusive that you can listen to. It's something
like that. I added a couple recently, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
That might be different, just random ones. But, yeah, check that out. We've got the, you know, Minnie D. Thomas and Toddle Waddle, non-racists who
non-racist Confederates
who support the Union but sleep with Confederate men.
Yeah, very true.
There we go.
Yeah, very true.
Then, of course, we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Nordic Thunder, Weston, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Grover. I got to scroll. Laura Revo and Lindo. Thank you all so much. I knew they started with an L.
Yeah,
but I didn't know which one was
a couple
first.
more on there.
Thank you guys so much for supporting us through this season. We've had some bangers.
Yeah, we have, man. It's been a good season.
We'll have to
one of our strongest so far.
I think so. We'll have to have some eggnog or something for the last episode.
Yeah,
we'll clink it, some Vossel or something.
Do something for it.
Some cookies.
Yeah, and then next season I'm thinking I'm only gonna do one Butchers of Boston episode per
that's
season.
Fair.
They're
that's
rough.
Fair.
They're rough episodes. But yeah, as always, if you guys ever have any recommendations for Confederate propaganda, if you ever have any dirty Confederate magazines, Union dirty Confederate magazines as well, we don't discriminate like the Confederates did. If you guys ever want to just chat, you just need somebody to talk to. It is the holiday season. I know it can feel really, really fucking lonely. Please reach out to us. Send us memes, send us recommendations for movies, TV shows, books, music, whatever you like. Show ideas, please keep those coming. Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at pointsopressure. Send us an email at ppdnaj@gmail.com or go to our website, pointsopressure.com. Go to the contact us page and send us a fucking voicemail. We'll catch you guys for the last episode next Monday.